Dear students, today we are going to discuss about Rdbms video 3, that is this year. Today we will talking about or we will discuss about the DCL. DCL is one type of SQL language. DCL stands for Data Control Language. DCL stands for Data Control Language. Data Control Language. Using DCL, one can control the accessing privilege of data from the database. It means that there is DBA, known as the database administrator. DBA is a person, DBA, database administrator, who controls the accessing of data, accessing level of data from the database. It means that DCL is used to control the accessing of data from DB, from database. DCL is used to control the accessing of data from DB. DCL is related with security issue. We must have a control, we must have restrictions on database. It means that anybody cannot access any portion of data from the database. To access the data from the database, one has to take the permission from DBA. The DBA is responsible to give the permission to one user or public to access the data from the database. The DCL is related with security issue. What? Security issue. DCL is related with security issue. It restricts the user, DCL restricts the user to access the data. DCL restricts the user from data accessing. DCL restricts the user from data accessing. Overall, you can say, from security point of view, SQL provides one platform, SQL provides one scope, that is the DCL language. Using the DCL language, we can secure our database from outsider. The DCL provides some command. DCL is a language, DCL is not a command. DCL provides two commands. To perform the restriction. One is grant. Grant is a command, and another command is revoke. What? Revoke. Grant is a DCL command and revoke is a DCL command. With grant command, DBA can provide the permission. DBA can provide the privilege to the user to access the data. The grant is dedicated, grant command is used to give the privilege to the user for accessing the data, and the revoke command is used to return back that permission, to return back that privilege from the user who has got permission previously. Means जो परमिशन ग्रांट कमांड द्वारा दिया जाइथिला यूजर को से परमिशन गुडी को हम रिटर्न कर दे परिया, कैंसिल कर दे परिया यूजिंग द रिवोक कमांड. We will discuss the grant and the revoke separately. The first command is grant command. Grant command. Grant command is used to give the privilege to the user for accessing the data. Grant command is used to give the privilege to user for accessing the data. For accessing the data from DB database. Grant command is used, or grant is used to give the privileges to users for accessing the data from database. Privilege is categorized into two types. One is system privilege. Another is object privilege. Privilege can be categorized into two types. One is system privilege, one is object privilege. In system privilege, one can, getting a system privilege, one user can perform any DDL operation on the database. DDL operation means create, you can perform the create, alter, drop, etc. Means getting this system privilege, one user can perform these operations. One user can create a table, alter an existing table, or drop an existing table from the database using system privilege, and also create a table or session using create a session also. One user can create a session, but getting object privilege, one user can perform all types of DML operation. This is DDL operation, and you getting the object privilege, one user can perform DML operation, that is insert, update, and delete. The system privilege, getting a system privilege, we can perform the DDL operation, means we can create a session, we can create a table, we can alter an existing table, or we can drop an existing table from the database. But using system privilege or getting system privilege from the DBA, one user can perform all type of DML operation. DML operation, that data manipulation operation, and that command he can use insert, update, delete, etc. So how can you use, or how can you enter such type of privilege? There is a syntax we have to use. DPA can use the syntax to provide the permission or to provide the privilege to the user, and that syntax of the grant command is, that is the syntax DPA has to use. That's in grant, syntax is grant privilege list on object name to user name or public public or role name, role name with grant option, with grant option, grant option. Semicolon. Look at DBA can use such type of syntax to provide the permission to do some operations on the table. What type of operation? Either DDL operation or DML operation. We can list out the privilege list. We can list out the what type of permission should be provided to the user. That privilege list may be all, privilege list may be all, or individually we have to list out. That individually you can write here insert, update, individually we have to list out the privilege list, or you can use the all command, all keyword here instead of individual insert, update, delete. All includes all permissions user can get. All keyword means all type of permission a one user can get from the DBA. For example, we can write here grant all. Instead of privilege list, we use the keyword all. Grant all on object name. Object name means student. Student table. Object name table. Object might be table, view, sequence. This is the object. You can say this is the relation name. I already told you in video 1. Grant all on student, that the object name, to user name. That user may be XYZ. XYZ is a user, and here DBA provides all the permissions to the user XYZ. It means that XYZ is a user who can access the data from the database and perform all type of DML operation. All types of DML operation means the XY can perform insert operation, update operation, delete operation, like this. Or individually we can write grant insert, comma, update on student to XYZ. So instead of using all, here we provide the permission only, insert permission and update permission. That's why we didn't use the all keyword here. All keyword means the user can access all the permission from the DBA, means he can access the DML operation permissions like insert, update, delete. But in example 2, DBA provides the permission, DBA gives the privilege to the user XYZ, two types privilege. One type is insert privilege and update privilege. यार माने होची XYZ user एक टेबल ऊपर केवल insert operation perform करि परियो एवं update operation perform करि परियो, नहीं जे all operation perform करि परियो. सेति पई आमे instead of using all, we write insert, update, we list a privilege, we अलग अलग भाव insert और update privilege को अलग अलग भाव में इटी यूज करता है. ये को आउट की एक्सप्लेन करिवा. What is public? Public means all users can access the database. DPA grants the permission to all users. Individually, in example, we wrote that the XYZ is a user, Sriram is a user, Ramesh is a user, Damasis is a user. Instead of writing individual name one by one, the DPA intention is to provide the permission to all users. That's why we can use here the public keyword. And a role name is the list of privilege. Role name is the list of privilege. Some numbers of privileges are grouped together and known as the role, and there's provided name, that's the role name. Further, we will discuss about role name. With a grant option, what do you mean by? With grant option. We will take an example and we will clear about with grant option. One example is grant all on EMP is another table, employee table, EMP to user 1. Suppose the username is user 1. It is one example. Another example is grant all on EMP to user 1 with grant option. What is the difference between two query? In first query, we didn't use with grant option, but you can find with grant option here. What will the difference between two mechanisms? Without grant option, the user 1 cannot provide any permission to other users. Suppose user 1 wants to give privilege to user 2. In this query, it is not possible. Here, DPA provides privilege. DPA gives the privilege to user 1. User 1 can enjoy the privilege which are provided by the DPA. User 1 can insert, update, delete on EMP table. But user 1 is not capable here to give permission to other users. But in case of this query, with grant option, user 1 get the permission from the DBA. As a result, user 1 is capable to give or to grant permission to other users. Here, user 1 wants to give permission to user 2. In this query is possible because with grant option is provided by the DBA to the user 1. But in this case, user 1 can perform only DML operation. User 1 cannot provide any permissions or cannot provide any privilege to other users. But in this case, it is possible. This is the difference between with grant option and without grant option. And one thing you have to remember that when we use the with grant option, DPA should be careful about it, because with this query, when grant all on EMP to user 1, in future further, suppose DPA cancels the permission, DPA revoke the permissions which are provided to the user 1. Situation 1. In situation 1, suppose DPA cancels the permission or privilege, you can say privileges to from privileges from user 1. DPA cancels the privilege from user 1. If we use the with grant option, जतल DPA user 1 को जति परमिशन दिया हेतला सेति जति कैंसिल कर देला, कैंसिल हेगला user 1 ला परमिशन कैंसिल हेगला, किंतु user 1 जति user 2 को परमिशन देथिबो ना तेबे user 2 पाइथो परमिशन उडा कैंसिल कर परियो नाही DPA. So DPA cannot cancel the permissions or privileges which is provided to the user 2 by the user 1. Look at one again. Suppose DPA use this query grant on EMP to user with grant option. With grant option, what will the problem? DPA suppose DPA further DPA revokes DPA revokes the privileges from user 1. It means that the permissions or privileges which are given to user 1 is cancelled. It's discarded by the DPA, returned back by the DPA. But user 1 provides some privilege to user 2. It means that DPA cannot cancel or DPA cannot revoke the privileges from the user 2 which are provided by the user 1. User 1 द्वारा user 2 को जदि privileges किछि दिया होई थाए ताले user 2 रो privilege को DPA cancel करि परियो नाही. That is one problem. So at the time if using with grant option, DPA must be careful about it. Well, this is the grant command, and with grant command DPA can provide privileges to users. Another command is revoke command. Revoke command is used to return back the privileges which is provided by the grant command. Return command is used to return back the privileges provided by DPA from the user. Revoke command is used to return back the privileges provided by DPA from the user. DPA जो परमिशन बा प्रिविलेजेस गुडी को प्रोवाइड करिथिले यूजर मानको से प्रिविलेजेस बा से परमिशन गुडी को जेता रिटर्न बैक करबा चाहउछन्ती, डिनाय करिया पाई चाहउछन्ती, सेते बेले DPA can use the revoke command. The revoke command syntax of revoke command is revoke privilege list on object name from. In case of grant we use here to. Now we can use the from username public role name semicolon. Revoke privilege list on object name from username or public, or you can use role name. Using revoke command, the DPA can cancel the privileges, the list of privileges which are provided to the users using the grant command. Grant command द्वारा जो privileges को provide हेतला, the list of privileges is provided by the DPA using the grant command to the user That privileges will be returned back from the user using the revoke command. Revoke command use करिकी से परमिशन गुडी को कैंसल कर दिया बा रिटर्न करी आइबे डीपीए से यूजर पाखु. एग्जांपल नहीं परिबा revoke all on EMP from ABC is a user जहाँ को हमें ABC is the user जहाँ को हमें सब ऑल परमिशन सर प्रोवाइड कराइतला सब परमिशन प्रोवाइड कराइतला ताकू यदि रिटर्न बैक करिया पे चाहउछन ताले यूजिंग द रिवोक कमांड द DBA can return all the permissions which are provided to the ABC and now the ABC cannot enjoy the permissions which are provided by the grant command. This is the DCL data control language. So further data control language is used. Data control language is used to put a control on data from security point of view, and there are two commands I already told. One grant, another is revoke. This is the revoke. With the grant command we can give the permission. With the revoke command we can return back the permission. This is all about the DCL. Tomorrow or next class we will discuss about TCL. In next class we will discuss about the TCL, that is transaction control language. For today that's all. Thank you.